Let's make one thing clear. The Godfather Part 2 isn't just a sequel. It's a cinematic chess move, sharp, cold, and devastating. It's the crown jewel of anti-hero storytelling, the how-to guide on building an empire and losing your soul in the process. If Part 1 showed us how a man steps into power, Part 2 asks, what happens when power is all you have left? Two dons, one legacy. One built his empire on loyalty, respect, and old-school values. The other built his reign on silence, surveillance, and straight-up fear. Step into the ultimate family business, where the family part dies slow. Welcome to Real Talk, where we spill the tea on movies and all the madness in between, with wit, sass, and zero sugarcoating. In the opening scene, we meet 9-year-old Vito Corleone, a boy from Sicily whose entire family is murdered by the local mafia boss, Don Ciccio. To prevent revenge, his older brother is killed during their father's funeral. Then his mother begs Don Ciccio to spare her youngest son, a child who barely speaks, but the answer is still no. When she tries to protect him, she's shot in front of him. Vito flees. He escapes to America with nothing but trauma in his suitcase. Fast forward, young adult Vito Corleone is now a poor immigrant in Little Italy, played by Robert De Niro. He gets fired from his job at a grocery store, not because he did anything wrong, but because local thug Don Fanucci wants the position for someone else. Was Vito mad at the store owner? Not at all. He gets it. No hard feelings. Just quiet understanding. From there, he and Peter Clemenza begin stealing to survive, just enough to feed their families. Vito builds his empire brick by brick, not just with bullets, but with quiet strategy and community. Yes, he kills Don Fanucci, but it's not just for himself. Fanucci was bleeding the neighborhood dry. Vito's violence is practical, almost surgical. He protects, he provides, he remembers names, he helps the helpless, gives jobs, shares favors, and makes his power feel personal. His violence comes wrapped in generosity. You didn't fear Vito because he screamed. You respected him because he whispered. He becomes the people's Don, starts an olive oil business, builds loyalty like it's brick and mortar. Don Vito rules with quiet grace and terrifying precision, but also with heart. He's feared, sure, but respected more. You never feel like he kills for pleasure. He kills for peace, protection, and family. Now cut to Michael, played by Al Pacino. The new Don, sitting in that cold, dark Tahoe mansion. But instead of warmth and loyalty, what's he got? Surveillance, isolation, paranoia. It's a party, just like Part 1. But this one feels different. Icy, formal, no joy. It's not a celebration, it's a power show. And Michael, he's already being betrayed, an assassination attempt. And who's behind it? Family, of course. Always family. This is where the throne gets cold. Michael starts investigating the hit, and slowly his paranoia becomes gospel. He questions everyone, trusts no one. And then comes the ultimate heartbreak, Fredo. Sweet, bumbling Fredo. He didn't mean to betray Michael. He just wanted respect, recognition. He was passed over, ignored, laughed at. So when someone offered him a chance to finally matter, he took it. And that cost him everything. Because when it comes to betrayal, Michael is ruthless. I know it was you, Fredo. You broke my heart. You could hear the iceberg cracking beneath that whisper. Fredo is exiled, only allowed to visit their mother with advance permission. When Connie finally comes to her senses, she asks for forgiveness and a place back in the family. She doesn't literally kiss the ring, but emotionally, she might as well have. Then she begs Michael to forgive Fredo, and he does, for now. But that's not the end of it. Then there's Frankie Pentangeli, who agrees to testify against Michael Corleone in front of a Senate committee. He's ready to flip, spill the cannoli, name names, end the Corleone empire. He believes Michael tried to have him killed, and betrayal fuels his revenge. But then, bam! On the day of the hearing, Michael walks in with Frankie's older brother, Don Vincenzo Pentangeli, flown in from Sicily. No one speaks, no threats are made, just a look. And Frankie immediately folds. He denies everything on the stand, says he made it up, like clockwork. This is Mafia Code meets old world family honor. Frankie's brother is a respected Don back in Sicily. By testifying, Frankie wouldn't just betray Michael, he'd shame his family. And shaming your family? That's a death sentence. But not just for you. For everyone you love. Michael never has to say it. Just bringing the brother sends the message. You're not just betraying me, you're betraying your bloodline. That's Sicilian guilt on steroids. Once Frankie realizes he's been used by Hyman Roth and betrayed Michael, he kills himself in prison to protect his family. And then there's Senator Giri, dripping with racism in broad daylight. I don't like your kind of people. I don't like to see you come out to this clean country in your oily hair, dressed up in those silk suits, and try to pass yourselves off as decent Americans. Like, sir, the hypocrisy lit up the whole damn room. He's making shady deals with the Corleones but still acts like he's too good for them. Michael doesn't blink. He just delivers that icy clap back. We're both part of the same hypocrisy, but never think it applies to my family. One line, one dagger. He slices through the senator's fake moral high ground and defends his family, crooked or not. Because in this world, power isn't clean. It's just well-tailored. Michael, who started out wanting to be clean, a senator, a war hero, a man apart. He even told Kay, "That's my family, Kay, not me." But the moment his father was gunned down, the transformation began. And remember that final door closing on Kay in part 1? That wasn't just a goodbye. It was a warning. In part 2, that door becomes a wall. Kay finally gives up. She sees their son, Anthony, shrinking into silence after the assassination attempt. She tells Michael the truth, not just about a miscarriage, but an abortion, a choice, a rebellion. I wouldn't bring another one of you sons into this world. It was an abortion, Michael. It was a son, Michael. A son. And I had it killed because this must all end. It's the one moment Michael breaks. He yells, he slaps her, and just like that, she's out. Banned from her children's lives. Meanwhile, Fredo, sweet, fumbling Fredo, steps in as a soft spot for little Anthony. But Michael? He waits until Mama Corleone dies. Then he has Fredo killed. On the lake, while his son is nearby. Michael doesn't just lose his brother, he loses his capacity for forgiveness. Fredo's betrayal wasn't calculated malice, it was wounded pride. A desperate plea to matter in a world that kept sidelining him. And yet, even when Fredo shows real love, especially to Anthony, the one person most traumatized by the hit on Michael, Michael still can't let it go. He smiles, he pretends, then he kills. Quiet, ice cold, strategic. Vito had boundaries. Vito knew when punishment became cruelty. But Michael? He crosses that line and never looks back. That's not just punishment. That's Shakespeare with silencers. Don Vito might have banished family, but he never spilled blood in the house. But Michael? He doesn't flinch. Vito would have wept. Michael just watches. And then comes the gut punch. That final flashback scene. Don Vito's birthday dinner. Everyone's there. Sonny, Tom, Fredo, Connie. And then there's Michael announcing he enlisted in the Marines. They all freak. Except Fredo. He's the only one who supports him. The irony cuts deep. Everyone else leaves to greet their father, and Michael, left alone at the table. That's the metaphor. Isolation was always his destiny. Two Dons, two styles. Don Vito rises from nothing. He was orphaned, hunted, and poor, but he leads with patience, strategy, compassion. He kills, yes, but when he has to. Michael kills because he can. Don Vito gives favors, protects the weak, honors tradition. His code, unbreakable. No drugs, no unnecessary blood. Family first, always. The people feared him, but they also loved him. Michael starts with everything: education, prestige, a future, and he gives it all up for vengeance. He traded respect for obedience and loyalty for surveillance. Slowly, ruthlessly, he chips away at his soul. Vito ruled with respect. Michael, with fear. And when fear is your only currency, paranoia is inevitable. Vito inspired loyalty. Michael demanded submission. Vito made men kiss the ring. Michael made them flinch. He's cold, isolated, addicted to control. Betrayal is unforgivable, blood or not. Fredo betrays him? Dead. Kay aborts his child? Banished. His empire grows, but his family disintegrates. And that's the tragedy. Vito built for family. Michael sacrificed family for the throne. In the end, both sit on the same seat of power, but only one dies surrounded by love. Michael, alone, haunted, aging in silence. That final shot says it all. A man who gained the world and lost everything that mattered. The Godfather Part 2 is considered to be one of the greatest films of all time, as well as a rare example of a sequel that rivals its predecessor. But more than that, it's a tragedy in a tailored suit. And next time you hear someone say, "Never go against the family," just ask, which Don are we talking about? Stay tuned for Part 3. It only gets darker, and this time, the sins of the father don't just haunt the son, they bury him.